Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Coding Zeal stream with yours truly, Talk to Me Gooseman. And today, I am joined with Zan.
Heyo,
Hey, Zan, how's it going?
I'm doing okay. How about you?
I'm doing pretty good. It's Friday, so
Indeed.
and we're going to be doing some Elixir today. So I'm excited to have you on because you're way more familiar than Elixir than I am. So we're going to be going through some code katas, having some just challenging our brains and learning the language as we go along. So that's going to be a good adventure.
Yeah, sounds fun.
All right, so let's bring up the screen. There we go. So we're going to go through Code Wars today and doing some coding exercises. And I guess since I'm accompanied by you, we'd be able to go up in the difficulty levels and maybe trying out more and more challenging problems and see how we get through that. Have you ever used Code Wars before, Sam?
I have, but it's been a long time. So I'd be down to start with the basic one just to remember like how we find the input and where we'd run the test and that kind of thing.
Yeah. So we'll start off with this one. It looks like it's an 8. I think 8's the lowest, and then it goes up progressively based off the stuff. Historically, historically I'm at a 4 because I've done a lot of challenges in the past when practicing for interviews or when wanting to learn a language. I would go here to try out the different challenges. But yeah, let's give it a try and see how it goes. Okay. So our challenge is, are you playing the banjo? And our instructions are create a function which answers the question, are you playing banjo? If your name starts with the letter R or lowercase r, you're playing banjo. The function takes the name as its only argument, and returns one of the following strings. Name plays banjo or name doesn't play banjo. Okay. So then we'll type in our solutions in this view, and then we can write our tests here. But luckily, the thing I like is there's usually already test cases already written out.
Nice.
And one of the reasons I really like Code Wars, if no one's familiar with it, is the fact that they show test case code, so you already get familiar with whatever language you're doing challenges in, and how the test cases are structured, or how you write tests in general.
Nice.
All right. So we have our module already for talent detector, and are you playing banjo? And then we get in a name. Okay. So let's see. We would want to check if, so we get in a name, and the name has to start with an R. So if we run the test cases right now, we should get back failed. Okay,
Cool.
nice. Okay, so by default, I would want to do an if statement to check, but I know we could so I know we can do, because the core of Elixir is matching, right? Expression matching. So I feel like we can somehow use potentially, like, maybe could we use a matching to like grab the first character of a string to see if it's an R?
That is a
Is
good
that
question.
possible?
I do not know. That wasn't the I had a different solution in mind, but I'm really curious if that's possible. Let's see. Fix and change.
Yeah, right now it's top of mind. Just stuff in general. I was reading this control flow chapter in Elixir in Action, so I can't remember. It covered all the other complex types, but it didn't cover. At least I haven't gotten to the part with strings, if that's possible. So, how you doing, Dr. Chris? How's your Saturday? Or Friday?
See, Dr. Argus asked if we could boost the font size a little bit.
Yeah. There we go. Let's go, and that's a little bit too much. There we go. Let me know if that's not quite Saturday yet. Elixir string pattern matching. It's the term, right?
Yeah.
There's the pin operator. There's a raise. Okay, I don't think we can.
Okay. I do have another solution in mind. So in the string library that's in the string module that's in the standard library for Elixir, there is a function called starts with question mark.
Okay.
So you can say string starts with and pass it name, and it should return a boolean of whether it starts. Oh, let me see. I think it's probably going to be name and then the string that we're looking for it to start with. So like
Okay.
starts with name and then a string, just a string R. Oh no, I'm sorry, you had it the right way. The starts with function will take 2 arguments. Yeah, and I think
Let's
that's
look up the documentation. Elixir, and then we're looking up string module. Go. And then there is a starts with. There it is.
Yeah.
So the string and then the prefix. Cool. And then we would do, I guess we're looking for The conditions are lowercase r or capital R.
Maybe we could downcase the string first.
Okay. So this is where pipe comes in.
Yeah, totally.
So we would have name, and then pipe, and then we would do, and then down case. So it takes in the string and then just as a default mode. Okay, so you don't have to pass in the second argument. You can just do down case, and then pipe, and then down casing it, we just have to say R.
Yeah, and then starts with actually has a question mark at the end of it.
Do formatting here, but it's not letting me. Okay. My Vim mode working? Okay, whatever. I'm gonna take it off Vim mode.
Okay.
Okay, and then so this is the part I always got hung up last time I was practicing. So we get so this returns back a Boolean of true or false. So based off that, we have to return back a string. So would we do a conditional here of the name, like do you can you do like a pass through, or do we have to do it all on one line of determining whether we turn back name plus this?
I think we could pipe into like a function that.
Because I know with libraries like Ramda, you could like have a function that does one or the other based off whether it gets a true or false.
Right.
So that's what made me wonder if Elixir
There was something like
can
that.
do the same thing too.
Yeah, I think like we could pipe into an anonymous function and then have a conditional inside of that.
Oh.
Another thing, maybe on that, we could use if we define a separate function in this module that just determines if it starts with R or not.
So we do name. Let's do this.
And then I think we could use a guard clause and define two versions of "Are you playing banjo?" One for when it evaluates to true, and one for when it doesn't. So, like for instance,
Okay.
for the one where they play banjo after the name argument, we would say, oh, I'm sorry, not inside the parenthesis, but actually after it. But yeah, so we'd say when. And then I think we can
When
just say
colon, right?
yes, yeah. And I think we can just say starts with R and pass it the name. I don't think we have to say the module name. Oh, actually, also there's not a colon after when.
Okay. Yeah, I try to remember. So that's anonymous. Oh, did I have it? So start playing banjo. And then you're thinking about putting like a guard clause. If it evaluates a true or false, we return back that string.
Well, I was thinking, so this one should handle the cases where it does start with R, and then we could define another Are you playing banjo that just doesn't have any guard clause, and it'll match on any other string.
Oh, okay. So we don't have to. So are you playing banjo when that returns true? And then does not play banjo. And then this is correct, right? This is how we do string concatenation.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, yeah, because like right here it has the plus. So I was like, All right, let's test. One.
Unexpected token
See.
end. Line 14. Oh, you need to do on line 10.
Ah, right.
Ruby brain.
Yeah, Ruby brain, exactly. Compilation error. Maybe we do have to include. So cannot find invoke starts with R.
Only macros can be invoked. So maybe I'm wrong about being able to use a local function as a guard clause.
Try to change the order real quick. Okay, yeah.
I think it says only macros can be invoked. So I think we would have to like define it as a macro. But we could I mean, I think since we do have that other function, maybe instead of the guard clause, we could go with either an if else or cond.
Because you can do just an if else in here and then just be done with it.
Yeah.
That's the problem with reading how to program Elixir and not doing any Elixir. I forgot to do.
Nice.
There we go. Hey, Lily, how's it going? Nice. Okay. And let's submit this. We pass all the tests.
Right.
All right. Okay. So let's see how other people did this.
Oh, interesting.
So that we did this part.
Yeah.
Oh, but they grabbed the first one. Okay. The first letter, downcased it, and then they piped that into a case statement, and then just did the first one, if not do the everything else. Oh, and then this is what you were kind of thinking. Let's see if. Oh, well, this is the one line function thing.
Yeah. This is interesting.
This is really. I feel like this is really bad convention. Oh, look, this is
This is
similar
what
to
you were
what you
looking for.
were.
I think this is like, um, this is the pattern matching version of doing it.
Oh.
So it's like
So
taking the
not
first,
only is this able to concat, but it can split apart.
yeah,
Like that's really cool. Okay. So if it matches capital R, it does this. If it doesn't match, it does this. Or if it does match this, it does that. And then if not, it does everything else. Okay. All right, let's try the next kata.
cool.
Find. All right, let's just click it and just see how it goes. So find the maximum and minimum values of a list. Your task is to make two functions, max and min, maximum and minimum. PHP or Python, that's funny. That take a array slash vector of integers list as input and outputs, respectively, the largest and lowest number in that array slash vector. So we take in this object, or I guess this is a tuple
Yeah,
in Elixir.
yeah,
And then we pass in the, so since we're looking for the max, it returns the max. If not, and then min turns min. Okay.
cool.
You may consider that there will be not there will not be any empty arrays or vectors.
Okay.
Okay. So we can sort this list for min and then just pick out the last thing.
Yeah.
How advanced do we want to get with this? Do we want to just use the built-in sorts and then pick it out, or do we want to try to?
I would bet that there is already a min and a max that's implemented as part of like the enumerable. But yeah, I wonder if there's something like more low level that we could implement it with, or like we could use more low level things to implement it on our own.
Because if we were to do this the old-fashioned way, we would iterate through the list, holding on. So, okay, so this would have to be all Elixir. So this would probably have to be kind of recursive, right?
How do you figure?
So
Because I think you're talking about holding on to it, but I don't actually know how we would iterate and hold on to it if we were. I guess maybe we would have a second argument that was the min
yeah, we would
use
have like
before.
a list. We'd have the first one, and then we have a second one. So it would be. Oh wait, that's still not going to work properly though, because we need to have like a. No, this might work. So I was thinking about how do we do this? We do a pack. We do this where we grab the value and then the rest.
Yeah, I think usually it's head and tail.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, head and tail. That's right. That's way more elixiry. Head and tail, and then we call we call the list with the head.
No, I think wouldn't we call min tail head?
Oh man! Oh, that's right.
So we're like slowly consuming the list.
Tail. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
I think. Wait, you want this?
You already know where I'm going with this.
No. I think you want it on line 5. It should be min tail head,
Yes.
and that way we have a list for the first argument on line 8 and a value for the second.
So then we grab the head of this one. So if the head is less than the min, then we call min if the head and the tail
Those arguments should
else
be reversed.
and then min is our tail,
Right.
then the min.
And then I guess the stopping position would be when the tail is empty, or rather when the list that's passed is empty.
Yeah. So how would we check for that?
I don't know if there's one with tuple. I think there is like a low-level thing that we could, in a guard clause, say just is empty, like it's a macro. Let's see.
So when is there a Elixir? Trying to see if I can easily look this up in the documentation.
Um,
We could probably do it as a if, right?
Yeah.
So if the, would it be enumerable? If there's empty. Oh, wait. There's an enum type or? Oh, that's kind of
No,
confusing. There's an enumerable and then there's an enum.
I think enum is the module that has the functions to work with enumerables, and then yeah,
Okay.
enumerable is a protocol. I have to say I don't.
Okay. Yeah, that's exactly right. No, that's exactly what it says right here.
Yeah, I didn't know the word for it until you pulled up the documentation. Right. I think if we want if list empty.
Oh, list. List empty, return min.
And I'm pretty sure that this if is actually, I don't think it's this. I think it needs a colon because I don't think it's the same as a guard clause, but I don't. I think it's just like another syntax for if else.
Syntax error before if colon. Let's see. Maybe I'm just doing it this wrong. Because we only want to do the if for invoking the method. We can probably just put this in an anonymous function too, right? Like do and then the proc. Is that valid?
I don't know if I follow.
So like do like proc the method.
But would we need I don't think we would need an anonymous function there.
Ooh. Oh, it's when. Sorry. When.
I think this is going to give the error that we had before that.
Yeah, and only macros.
Could we try try matching the empty tuple inside of the parameters? So saying like just list equals empty tuple. I think
Ooh. The first parameter is the list.
right.
Only macros. What is it thinking?
Line 3.
Cannot find invoke local 102. Oh, the pipe operator.
Oh, maybe that doesn't work for tuples.
See what we can do with denums then. We can just do, no, we want to grab the rest of it.
We could also maybe call toList. That off of the enum. Yeah, I think we could say
toList.
yeah.
Okay. So then we go enum toList. List. And then we can do this. We convert this to
Right.
syntax. And then now we actually do have a list. Let's see here. Variable list is unused. Oh, for max. Okay, because we haven't implemented max.
Maybe we can just return the list from max for right now. Or I guess we could comment it out.
We'll return just the list and then we'll comment it out in the test. Oops. Wait, so it's max. Wait. There we go.
Whoa, this is a gnarly error. Oh man.
Min conflicts with local function. So do these two conflict with each other?
No, I think that there
This
is
min
like,
and this min?
I think that the min function is on the kernel module, so it's just like, I don't know, global scope is not the right word, but it won't let us, I think it won't let us call min would be my guess. I would imagine, I have to imagine that we can define it. I would think that maybe we just can't call it without yeah.
Do that.
Wait, I think you forgot. Oh, no, never mind. That's a variable. Oh, we might want to change the argument name as well.
I'd say just value.
Okay.
Value. Test.
No match on right-hand side.
It didn't return back anything. It's a no match found. So online. There's like two different errors. There's one here for standard error. This clause cannot match because previous clause on line 8 always matches.
Oh, we're not matching anything. We're not, there's no like restriction on what the first argument is on line 8. And so that's going to match no matter what, even when it's empty, since it's defined first. I think we need to move 18 above that last min above the one that's above it. Oh, and also just like a little shorthand we can do, we can say do colon value, and then we can get rid of the end.
Okay, cool. So we do that, and then we have the list. We could probably shorthand this to just do this, right?
Oh, yeah. Good call.
Ooh. That is a very descriptive explanation. What? Line 8. So it doesn't like the syntax for whatever reason?
Okay. We can go back to do end. That's, oh, I think what it was, we need a comma after the parentheses. So like right there.
case you wanted to do expression, you must either use a do blocks or separate the keyword arguments with the comma. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, like that. Like you can see right there. So some condition, comma, do this.
Nice.
Hey, Armin, test pass. This is like a cookie cutter programming language, like interview question, right?
Yeah.
Implement min, but you can't use the built-in libraries.
I'm wondering.
So then with Max, we can just do. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, go ahead. You can finish that thought.
I was just going to say we could copy this and just tweak the logic around.
Right. And then.
So Max, and then hey.
Nice.
Is there any other approaches you want to take with this also, now that we have the solution?
I'm trying to figure out if there is like a more Elixir control flow for handling our functions that have if else.
Okay. Control structures. Let's see what the Elixir school has to say. I guess we could use the case statement, right? But then it still looks like an if statement.
Yeah, yeah. And I think also that's like pattern matching the shape of data. I think if we were going to do that, we would use the cond, because then we can actually just say like, here's a condition and do this other one. But I think you're right. It's not really necessarily cleaner than just using if else.
I'm gonna put this. Let's do this. And then there's like a with also. So oh. Huh. Okay. All right. On to the next one.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. It's still giving us really small ones. We'll see how this one goes. Ooh, given as okay. This one has to do with strings. So given a string of digits, you should replace any digit below 5 with a 0 and any digit 5 and above with 1. Return the resulting string.
Okay.
So we can either iterate through the string and just construct a new string, But is there an Elixir approach that we can take to this?
I feel like it might be easier to pipe together if we actually like do one pass on the string that converts it in, let's see, given a string of digits. Yeah, one pass that converts the string of digits into, I don't know, maybe like an array of digits. And then another pass that changes them into an array of the correct strings. And then a final pass that rejoins it.
Okay. So let's see. I'm just trying to see if there's any like to listing within the string enum.
Hmm.
If not, I guess you can check the enum one, right? The new module.
Yeah, well, I guess it would be a question of like, does string implement the enumerable protocol? Because if it does, we should just be able to pass
Okay.
an enum function.
It doesn't say explicitly whether it does or not, at least not in this documentation.
I'm gonna try it. I've got an IEX terminal running in the background. Let's see. So I tried to call
Okay.
enum.string on a string, and it says protocol enumerable not implemented for ABC of type bit string. So I don't believe that we can do that.
Okay.
What about that? Yeah, that string split does. Oh, it does it on a space.
So
Oh,
string is into substrings with each Unicode. White spaces occurrences relating to trailing white spaces ignored. So split at.
what is the next split? The one with the arity of 3? So let's see. Divides a string into parts based on a pattern. Could be a string, a list of strings, a regular expression.
So let's see. What happens? So IEX, right? String dot. It's nice and big. Split ABC. Plot. Oh,
Nice. Except it also gave
it
us
worked.
those extra ones.
Yeah, let's see. Is there such thing as like a trim? Oh, well, now we're dealing with an enumerable though, right? So
Right.
like a compact method or something like that.
Another thing, we could leave them in there, and then as we map over it, just. Oh no, I bet it will end up with empty spaces in the last one. I'm not sure. I was gonna say we could just like ignore them as they come up in our iteration.
Yeah. So we do this and then.
Actually, you don't need the string argument. right there. Yeah,
Oh wait, we don't need the string.
since we're piping into it.
Cool, cool, cool. Give me a second here. I think my audio is being delayed by. Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you're a little bit quieter.
Dang it. Dang it, OSX. Okay, that's probably better. Maybe.
It's a little bit better, but it's still not back at what it was.
Dang it. Okay. Never. Let me let me switch it back. Oh God. Let me. Okay. There. Okay. How's that?
I think that's better.
Okay. All right. Well, the delay isn't that bad anymore either, so we're good. We're good for now. Okay, so we split this, and then we have the problem with the two. What we could probably do is maybe we can filter out the empty strings.
Oh yeah,
Either that or do a take. I forget which one's better. I forget if filter. Is there a filter method?
yeah, there is.
There it is. Filter. So if it's okay, cool. So what we can do is we can do enum filter, and then we pass in the anonymous. We pass in the function fns arrow, and then we do if
I think we can call is underscore integer and pass x to it.
would that be under?
It's actually I don't think it's on a module. I think it's I guess just
Global.
kernel. Yeah. And let me see. I'm not sure if there is a question mark on it. Oh, I'm sorry. It's is number. Yeah, there's no question mark, and I think it's is number instead. Well, there's is integer and is number, so I'm actually not sure. Oh, and actually these are all strings. I'm sorry.
Okay. Yeah, these are all strings, so maybe we just stick with the x equals or pattern matching. So x.
That's gonna give us back all the empty spaces though, or only the empty spaces, but we could use enum reject.
Enum reject. Oh.
Yeah, and then we could still use the same anonymous function that we had.
And we have that. So then what we do is, so we have an array, and then we want to do a pass and modify. Do we want to do a pass and modify only for grab all the zeros and modify that and then return that? Or I'm trying to remember exactly how you said it before.
Oh yeah. Let's see. So everything now we don't have the empty spaces. It's still string. So we should map through and convert each of them to an integer.
Okay. So then, and mapping's on, yeah. Wait. Is map a method on here? On the enums? There's map size. Oh wait, hold on. I'm not even looking at enum. I'm looking at the globals. Okay. Map. There it is. Yeah. Okay. So there's, of course, there's a map method. And then for our map, we just do function x. Then we convert this to an integer, and I assume there's probably a nice library for that.
Yeah, I think it's on the string module. There's like a string to integer.
To char list. And then
If you
there's
go down just a
to
little bit.
integer.
Yeah.
There you go. I feel like there's going to be a solution that does something with char lists in the solutions. Okay, so that gives us a list of integers. And then we can probably map, and then we can map over this and have an if statement that just returns back 1 or 0 for each character.
Right.
So if greater, what was it, the condition? So if it's below 5, if it's below 5, return 0, string 0, else 1. I feel like this is not syntactically correct.
Yeah, so after if x is less than 5, it needs a comma, and then else needs a colon after it as well. And then does if? No, if doesn't. Okay.
So that's going to give us a new array containing a bunch of strings. And then,
We need to join them.
yeah. So enum dot. There's probably just a plain old join method in here. Oh, we're looking at string. Enum. Okay. And then by default, the joiner is just empty string.
Nice.
Okay, let's test. Oh boy.
The function at line 5 is missing the, oh, we need an end at the end of all our functions.
Okay. Syntax error before else. Do you have to put a comma here? No, doesn't show anything. Let's test. Yes. Okay, it just needed the comma.
Oh, Nice.
And it passes.
Cool.
Nice. On the first try.
Yeah, and I feel like this is super readable code. Like it's just like enjoyable to go straight down.
Yeah. It's like, oh, we're splitting and then we're directing. This one's a little weird because if
Yeah.
you don't understand what the split does, you're like, okay. But then they were just mapping to integer, checking the values, and then doing a join. Nice. Okay, cool. So attempt, we pass all the submission test cases. All right. Oh, look at that.
Makes sense.
So they take the string and then they replace. Oh, they just did a regex replace.
Right.
I feel like that's cheating. This
Is someone else? Is this
this is
you?
mine.
Okay.
This is us. Why were you there? Oh, we're similar to everyone else's.
So this one is interesting because it's able to trim as an option.
That's
Nice.
the word I was looking for, the trim. So if we just included trim, we could just skip this one.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is still, I'm really curious why when we split, it adds those two extra spaces. Like what is the entity that's there that it's recognizing that it thinks that it should add those two extra spaces?
Let's see if the split documentation says anything about that on a string. So it divides a string into substrings at each Unicode whitespace occurrence with leading and trailing whitespaces ignored. Groups of whitespaces are treated as single occurrences. Divisions do not occur on non-breaking whitespaces.
So when it says that leading and trailing white spaces are ignored, I wonder if you added a space at the beginning and the end, if we would get back an array with just the digits.
Huh. Can we go back?
Well, maybe, do you still have that IEX terminal open?
Yes, I do, actually. Good point. This.
Oh no,
Oh,
it
it
just
just
added
adds it
more
in.
space.
So if we say trim true,
Nice.
yeah.
Cool.
Let's see the documentation about, so for split option, if true, empty strings are removed from the resulting list. Okay. So for some reason, it just adds those empty strings.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there has to be some sort of like under the hood special things, because I think I remembered in the book I'm reading that strings don't actually exist in Elixir. They're just character arrays.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder if it has to do with that.
Right. That's actually,
I was
that's why
also,
I'm kind of surprised that we couldn't use enum operations on the string.
yeah. Yeah, the other interesting thing I read was that true and false doesn't exist in Elixir.
They're
True
just
and false
atoms,
are just,
right?
they're just atoms. They actually don't have any actual value. They're just atoms.
That's interesting.
All right, let's try a little bit more. Let's up the ante and go with
Sounds good.
more difficult. Here we go. Number 6. All right, so write a function that takes an array of numbers, integers for the test, and a target number. It should find two different items in the array that, when added together, give the target value. The indices of these items should be returned in a tuple, so like index 1, index 2. For the purposes of this contest, some tests may have multiple answers. Any valid solution will be accepted. The input will always be valid, and the numbers will be in an array of length 2 or greater, and all of the items will be the numbers. Target will always be the sum of the two different items from the array. Okay, now this one definitely.
Can you send
Go
me
ahead.
the link? Can you send me the link to this one so I can have the description up?
Yeah. In the private chat.
Thank you.
I guess everyone in the chat, if they want to take a look at this one too, I'll just post it in the Twitch chat. So this is the kata we're currently working on. So this one's a little bit more tricky. So we have an array of strings, and we're given a target value, and we need to search through the array, not the array of strings, the array of integers. We need to find any pair that will equal the target value.
Okay.
So our target value is 4. So if we're looking through here, 1 plus 2 doesn't work, but 1 plus 3 will work. And then as long as it knows that there's multiple possible answers. So as long as they're not picky, as long as we just find a pair that equal the target.
In the test cases, though, it does look like it's looking for multiple results.
I think it's since it's doing.
Okay, I see. Yeah.
Yeah, since it's doing the pattern matching.
Right.
Because the answer can be 1 and 3 or 3 and 1, depending on how we implement the algorithm.
Okay.
So we're going to have, so this is like kind of like a basic search algorithm where we grab one value from the array, and then using that value, we have to search through the rest of the array, adding those two together until those values, if it passes, and then we have our pair. If not, if that one value we're holding on to doesn't match any of the other ones, then we move on to the next index. So I guess for this example, this one passes right because it's 1 plus 3 is good. But if this value was 5, we would hold on to 1, then we add 1 to 2, doesn't equal 5, 1 to 3 doesn't equal 5, and then we would go to 2, and then we do 2 plus 3, and then that equals 5, and then we're good, and then we just quit. So that's my thought.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Now, that's my thought. Now the question is, how do we do it? So this is a list, so we can do the head-tail thing, right?
Correct.
So we can grab numbers, and then it's almost like the implementation we did for the min, right? Where we can potentially do this recursively.
Yeah, I think we might need, though, like a subroutine. I don't know if we'll be able to do it with the same function all the way down.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think now we want to say, like, use this tail, but like hold on to the same head the whole way unless you find the target.
Yeah. And if we hold on to the same head, we need to know the index that head is out, because the result that returns back is not the numbers, it's the index of that number. Okay.
So we could, I don't know, just have like start with 0 as, let's see, to some. Maybe if we had another function called find target that is going to take a head, an index, and a tail, or rather a head, an index, and a list. Oh, you know what? I guess we could. I'm thinking. I guess we could use the same function since we can take different. We can take different arguments. And then it'll
So
match if we pass the list. Yeah.
that.
Right.
And then we can call. Say we'd want to pass. Oh, this gets a little tricky because of. Oh no, never mind. I was gonna say this gets a little tricky because we're passing at the tail, but as long as we can do the index plus 1 or index plus, because we need the index that this value that's in the tail was at in the original list.
Right. I think we can use the index argument as the offset when we get to that point. Although I think we'll also, this makes me think we'll need a fourth argument for target. Which
Ooh.
the fact that it's taking 4 arguments already feels not awesome, but we can refactor once we figure it out.
Probably put this in a we call it like a tuple, right?
Oh yeah.
So it can be like now we have 3 arguments.
Refactoring.
And this is our we have target. Then we have our should we just keep this as a tuple, or do we should we just or pattern match on this? Actually, we can't pattern match on this. At least it would be like this, an index, if we were to do that.
Right.
And then
also target is spelled wrong on line 9.
Target. So then we grab this is our value.
I think you're destructuring list on line 10 rather than numbers.
Yeah.
Or we could, yeah.
Tail. And then so if tail plus head is equal to target, and we return back value plus
no, I think you want if value plus head is equal to target.
Completely scatterbrain. Wow. Value plus head. So it's index plus 1.
And I think on line, I think instead of value for that, we would want to return just index.
We'd only care about the index.
Well, no, I think you were in the right direction. I think it would be a tuple that was like index, comma index plus 1, so that then we're capturing the index of head of what is currently head, and then the index of value.
So index, sorry, say that again?
So I think that this tuple on line 13 would be composed of, the first element would be index, the second element would be index plus 1, because we're trying to get
That's right.
the index of the value.
Else we do something feels off with this though. Tail target. And then index plus 1. And then we'll need a terminator, right? Either way.
Right.
And the list is empty.
Yeah.
Call it tuple because we don't care. And then what is the, and I guess turn back an empty tuple, or I guess let's turn back the tuple. It doesn't say that there's any condition for when there's no match.
When it's not found. Although I don't think, right now, I think the way that this is going to work is it's going to be like if you go down to line 19, let's say that if the first two elements don't add up, the next time we call it, we're going to be, so like on line 17, the first time this gets called, it would be 0 and 1. And then on line 19, when we call it, let's say that it did add up that time, we'd be returning 1 and 2. And so we're not if it's not true the first time, the second time it's not going to be checking the head with the element at index 2. It's going to be checking element at index 1 and index 2, and then element at 2 and at 3, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that does. So let's adjust this for not going for, because we still want to go, so you'll still want to keep they still want to keep head and index. Right. And it's just going down the list. Although, let's see.
But then, yeah, I don't know what to do when we get to our terminating condition.
Yeah. I guess what we can do is we can try to just do this as a loop first, and then try to see if we can get to the recursive. Trying to remember. Okay, so if we were going to do this, we'd call for, we split it, we have the head, we go down, and then we go tail. But even then, if we were to go to the new tail, this index for this tail isn't index plus 1, it's index plus 2 coming in here.
what if we try to do it with another with like a separate function? So like this would be I don't know, like find target. This one and the one above it would be find target.
Yep.
And then inside of the toSum at the top, we can say like we can set that equal to a variable, and if it returns, oh, how would this work? I was going to say if it returns an empty tuple, then we call another version of toSum where we so this would be like, instead of toSum on line 6, we'd be calling find target. And we would bind a variable to it. So we could call this like result. And then we could say if result is an empty tuple, then call toSum, then return another call to toSum.
Empty tuple. And is it then in the syntax? And then if not, do another call to toSum, you said?
Yeah, and then we could define another toSum that would like take additional arguments. Numbers, target. Or would it take addition? No, I'm sorry. I take that back. We wouldn't even have to do that. We could just say that we would call toSum with tail instead of numbers on, yeah. And I actually have not seen this then syntax before, but I'm imagining it works.
It is if do also. For some reason I remember seeing then, but I could be confusing my programming languages. So if comma do this. And then down here, when we're doing find target, so we go down here, we're iterating through. Let's see what happens.
Oh, actually, let's see.
Left is nil.
So I think we need an else condition on line 8. So we need a comma else colon. And we can just return result if it's not an empty tuple.
Oh, yeah. Probably why I was returning. Okay, well, we returned back something, just not the right thing. We're supposed to return back. So we got 0, 1 for whatever reason. Let's see. So value.
Oh, I think when we call toSum again, somehow we need to tell that like the starting index for head is going to be 1 rather than 0. Like when we call it the second time, then on line 6, this needs to be 1 instead of 0. In fact, everything else needs to be like pushed up.
So here we need to communicate that.
Yeah.
I guess it would be like another two-sum method with an offset.
I think actually we could give it a default argument for that position.
It's a defaults. Remember, I read it. You can do default arguments. Oh, it's with the slash slash.
Yeah.
Okay. I remember it was a weird syntax, and I was like, I'm never going to remember the syntax.
Yeah, it looks like a comment.
Yeah. Okay. So we call it again, and we say +1.
Right.
And it's going to pass for the first one. Oh, did it pass for the first one? It did not.
Why did it not pass?
Are we not? So, because we're not using the offset.
Oh,
so,
right.
And there should probably be offset +1. No.
Oh,
Right.
I think on line 6, I don't think we. Does that need to be the offset? Yeah, we do need that as the offset.
The target. Trace what's going on. So we call it with the tail target, and then head, and then we go through here. And then
Fine. Does
I think
that
it's
need to be index +1?
If we do that, that's going to screw up the location of the head, because that right there. Like, we still have to include like an offset value. Like index. It's always index +1 for the offset value, and then like or it's not the index, it's offset. It's always offset, and then like offset.
Undefined function find target 3.
Oh, because that's called the find target. I guess this is technically the offset is 1. Okay, so this test passed. Wait, no, we're way off base with this. Oh wait.
Huh.
You had the exact same reaction I did, but summed up in one word or one sound. I honestly was not expecting that to work for all test cases.
Yeah.
I forgot that we could do this full screen mode. Okay. Wow. Okay. That works.
Yeah, indeed.
I think we only got lucky. Let me see. Did we get lucky with this, or does this work?
For
Well,
other
let's just
test
try the
cases.
attempts.
Okay. Does when you hit attempt, does it run more tests than you see in those test cases?
Yeah, it's supposed to, at least it's supposed to run a more random test.
Right.
Yeah, it runs separate test cases. I still feel like these test cases aren't covering all the bases.
Yeah.
Because I feel like let's see. So let's say that this is 1, 1, and 4 here. And then so it needs to match on 8. So only 0, 1, 2,
It's gonna be 2 and 3.
2, and 3.
But also, what happens if you put 3 at the end of that one, or like interspersed somewhere into that list?
Like throw a 3 in here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, not a 3. A 7.
Okay.
Although I guess then the
Oh, wait.
outcome would be different. It would be 0 and 1, 2, 0 and 3. No, 0 and 0, 1, 2, 3. Yeah.
0, 3. Okay. All right. Can't. I mean, we try to break it, but I'm just doing it. It works.
I mean, I think there's obviously like there's cases where none of them add up to the target, or also like optimizations where maybe some of the numbers are by themselves more than the target.
Yeah. Yeah. It worked. We got it. We win.
Yeah. I'm curious to see the other solutions.
Yes. So am I. So am I. All right.
Wow.
Okay. So Tucson. Enum with indexes. So what the heck does that do?
I think that is a nested loop.
So with index. So that gives you an array with each value's location. I guess that's an easy way to not have to remember. Remember how we were like throwing offsets in there to remember the location?
Yeah.
So a for loop with numbers and numbers. And then as long as they're not equal, add them together and equal to target, those are the indexes. So they're doing the two looping cursor approach to this.
I don't know if I exactly follow the syntax though.
I don't understand this part right here.
Yeah.
Wouldn't this always be the same two indexes all the time? Because I would understand if you started the loop maybe for this one at the end of the array and went backwards. So like one of the old-fashioned solutions is to have a cursor starting at the beginning of the array and a cursor starting at the end of the array,
Right.
and then have them just go through. And if they intersect, that means that they're the same value. Ignore that, and then just keep on going until it ends. And if you found a value, you found a value.
Right.
But you're making it each with the index for both of them. Yeah, I still don't exactly follow this. Huh. Okay, let's see what the other solutions. Oh, the same one again. It's almost like someone cheated and look at the solution ahead of time. They're calling this HD method. What's that?
That I think that's head.
Oh, what?
You can get like the first element of an enum,
And it's on the kernel? That's crazy.
or rather of a list. So it only works with
Huh.
improper lists.
All right. Yeah, I still don't understand this each with index.
I think it's running a for loop inside of the for loop, and so and then inside of each for loop. So like it runs one for loop where what is x going to be? X is going to be the value, and then I is going to be the index, and then it runs another for loop inside of that that iterates over. I think actually all of them. I don't think it starts with an offset. So like the first time around, we're just like 1 and 1.
Okay.
And then if it matches the target, it pushes it into an array of tuples. But one thing I don't understand is I would have expected that it would end up with or rather, I would expect that it would end up with like a list inside of a list, and they would have had to flatten it somewhere.
Hmm. Yeah. Let's see. I guess they don't return. I guess because they're only grabbing the values of the indexes, so they're not, and they're only doing that if it's matches that condition. So I
Right.
guess this is shorthand if statement. But I see it now. And then like this is syntax because it's a backwards arrow. So it's
I know that that's the syntax. I don't know if you can do that outside of the for loop. I've seen that used like for a for loop.
yeah, so that goes into here. Here we go.
Oh, a
Com
comprehension with 2 generators.
Comprehension 2 generators, that, and then that. And then, for example, it's going to start iterating through this loop, 2 and 3. So it's going to grab y and x. So it's going to times 1 and 2, and then 1 and 3, right there. And then 2 and 2, 2 and 6. Okay. Okay,
Yeah.
so I guess that's the fancy term. 2 generators. And then you can do, and then right here too, you can
Add like a pre-filter.
Yeah. Okay. We'll definitely learn something new with that one.
Yeah, indeed.
Let's see if anyone else has done any arduous ones like we did. So they did a 2-sum and then did a find sum. And then they did a split with a target and an index. This is looking familiar. What is?
So that's a shorthand for an anonymous function. The first ampersand right here is saying like this is an anonymous function, and then the and1 is whatever the
arity.
first argument. No, that's not the arity. This is actually the first argument that's getting passed in. So
Okay.
it's saying find index. Although one thing, where's the collection actually getting found? What is T is tail. Okay, so this is the collection. So it's saying iterate over that, and for each number, so this is going to be the number in each iteration. If number plus head is target, find index. So the first number that matches that condition the index will be stored in this found variable.
Mm-hmm. And then if found is not equal to null, then it does found plus index plus 1. Else it does find sum again with the T target. Looks like we might have not need to do that much complicated math.
Yeah.
Okay, but that's pretty close to what we had. Oh my god.
I think this is in a similar vein as what we did.
Yeah.
Numbers enum with index, some target.
I didn't end up with index, so that's so clever. We probably could have done this and saved a lot of headache.
Yeah.
And then here's ours. Ours has a lot more spaces in between, so it looks a lot bulkier. All right. Do you have time for one more, or do you want to call it?
I could do another one.
All right, let's see. Tortoise racing.
Tortoises named.
2 tortoises named A and B must run a race. A starts with an average speed of 720 feet per hour. Young B knows she runs faster than A and furthermore has not finished her cabbage. When she starts at last, she can see that A has a 70 feet lead, but B's speed is 800 feet per hour. How long will it take for B to catch A? More generally, given 2 speeds V1 and V2 and a lead G, integer greater than 0, how long will it take B to catch A? And then the result will be hour, minute, second. So this is like the time
Right.
object. And then which is time needed to be hour, minute, second, round down to the nearest second or string. If V1 is greater than V2, return nil, nothing, null, none.
Just like
Or
whatever the
negative.
null construct is in your language.
Yeah, nim. And then, hey Juan, sorry that the video's buffering. That sucks. So the example is, so this is person A, this is person B. Here is their lead, and then the result, and then we have to return back how long it will take to catch up to them. And then Oops. No, no, no. Go back, go back, go back. How do we start this? No, I don't want to look at the solutions. How do I start this? Hello?
Is there the train button? Train again.
Oh, maybe since I clicked next kata, I thought we did it on accident. Okay. Okay. So let's so we got to do some math here. So we had to do some vector math here. So let's see what the hints were. Let's see other example in your test cases. Hint for people who don't know how to convert hours, minutes, and seconds. Tortoises don't care about fractions of seconds. Think about calculations by hand using integers. Your code use simulate division. Okay. All right. So we have to look up. So 150 feet per hour. Uh, so we know their speed.
Yeah. Since we need to find it to the second. Would it make sense to convert the speeds to, let's see, 70-foot lead?
Like convert it down to per second.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. And then we can figure out from there and then spread it or convert it back into hours and minutes.
So V1, so 150 feet per hour. So that is divided by 60
divided by 60
seconds.
36.
And then, so that gives us per minute. And then divide that by 60 again, or we can just do 360, or
It's 3,600.
600. That. This is V2s.
So I guess my initial thought is that we would have another function that we would pass in a position for V1 and V0, and for V1 and V2, and V2 would be 0 to start out with. Oh yeah, we can call it like increment time, because it'll be incrementing each second, and it'll take V1 position, V2 position. And I guess we also need the speed for both of them.
Yeah, we can do it as a tuple.
Right.
I don't think we're going to finish this one in by 3.
We can do it. I believe in us.
All right.
And then I think we would just
Oh, yeah.
continue to call this until v2 position is greater than v1 position, and then return how much time has elapsed.
If v1 position is greater than v2 position, I'm calling increment. Time. Then, so it would be
Let's see, v1 position plus v1 speed.
yeah, good call. v1 speed. And the next one would be v2 position plus v2 speed. V2 speed.
And then I guess we need some kind of accumulator to increment the seconds. Like I think we would, I guess it would be another argument at the end of increment time that's like elapsed time. We can default it to 0.
//
And then we'll just add 1 to elapsed time each time.
Million seconds. And then if else, we return back the time, the elapsed time.
Right.
So v1 starting position is supposed to be g, and their speed is v1. And then v2 starting position is 0. And well, we did this to seconds, so we had to do v2 seconds.
Right.
Cool.
And then we will need to convert that. Maybe we can pipe the result of that into some other function that we define that converts it back into, that converts it into the list of hour, minute, and second.
Yeah. I know the the time object has that syntax. Yeah, it has hour, minute, and then we can do seconds. Why doesn't it have the helper method here? So I'm wondering if we can just feed in like the seconds and it just does. If it could just, convert that to hour, minute, seconds.
Right. Can it convert it to like a string that's formatted like that? Because we could split it on the colon.
Yeah, let's see. ToString. That's the sigil though. Oh, here we go. That's not helping.
Let's see. Sure. Seconds.
Oh, there's a format option. Oh, we can do 2ERL and it turns it back as this tuple.
Nice.
So if we can just get it to initialize with, oh yeah, like you can even do hour, minutes. Okay, well, I guess this is the new. All right, let me see something here. So if we do time new with
60,000.
and then I'm trying to see like how, okay. So if we do it as a third argument, so yeah, we do 60,000
Okay.
valid time. Are we forced to put the milliseconds in? No. Wait, how's this? How's that valid? Oh, because it's the,
What about the underscore?
I
So
think it's
like,
because 60 is greater than, like we can't give it the summation of the time. Like, we can't say 60,000 seconds. It needs to be between 0 and 59 seconds.
okay.
Okay.
What if we do 60 and then we multiply it by 1,000? Like time new, we put 60 in the second position, and then actually never mind. I highly doubt that this is gonna that would work.
Here, let's Elixir seconds to time. There we go. Formatting seconds to hour, minute, seconds. Why are you? Oh, well, I don't want to.
Yeah, why
I
do
don't
you
want
show
to
me
hear. Oh wow, this is not trivial. They're doing like padding.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're padding and everything. Okay.
I think though, actually, that gave me an idea. We can do if we do REM, uh, like let's see, if we have our final seconds. Trying to look up the syntax for the REM operator.
Okay, got it pulled up. So dividend and divisor.
So if we divide the seconds by 60, it'll give us back the minutes. Then we can divide that by 60, and it'll give us back the hours. And then we can
Mhm.
just kind of we can subtract. Or actually, rather, we'll use the remainders. Let's see. Oh, no. So we divide it once by 60, that'll give us back the minutes. But then if we do remainder dividing it by 60, then the remainder would be the seconds. And then the same thing for the minutes, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so if we divide by, okay. So we can pipe this such that, I wonder if we can, how we would do this. So give us our seconds, and then we need to store each time we go through
Yeah.
this.
Yeah, I think we will have to either we'll have to create a new function. either anonymous or a named one so that we can store some of these results.
Yeah. If not, we just do rem, and then this is this would be minutes. And why can't I spell minutes right now? So it's that by the divisor. This gives us our minutes.
No, I don't. This is not going to give us our minutes. This will, if we divide, so for the minutes, we'll just divide by total seconds by 60. But then, actually, for right now, let's like not even worry about the remainder. If you divide by 60, that'll give us the minutes.
Yeah.
And then we'll do the same thing for hours, but with the minutes instead of the seconds. And then in the array that we return, the first one can just be the hours. And then the second one will be minutes plus
I think it's just be minutes, right? It's the seconds that we have to.
well, no, I think we need, because we took those total minutes and we put however many of them we could into the hours. Oh, so I think it would be REM minutes divided by 60. And that would give us our minutes, and then we could do the same thing for seconds.
To 60. This needs to be a comma.
And also 6.
Yeah, 6. Syntax error maybe? Undefined local elapsed time 1 inside match.
Line 14.
Variable minutes does not exist.
Oh, there's a typo on line 9.
Oh yeah. I don't think that's gonna fix our problem though.
Yeah.
And then total seconds is typo 2. Okay, now we're down to the last one. So cannot find invoke module elapsed time with a single. Did I forget a comma somewhere? With the arity 1. Side match. Only macros can be evoked. Oh wait. Does it think we're actually trying to invoke this as a method, as a function?
I don't know why it would. Versus
Cannot
turning it.
elapse. Did I spell it right?
Oh, will you go to where you're defaulting it? They need to be backslashes instead of forward slashes.
Oh. Let's see. Oh, we have let's see. Bad argument in arithmetic. Oh, we have to floor these, I think, because we're doing
okay.
rem on a.
Right.
So what was the conditions for this? Results, round down. Yeah, so flooring it. Is that on the kernel? Yes, it looks like it.
No, I think.
And let's see. So we got past the error, but we're off.
We're way off.
Let's see. If we were going to do hours are actually there's actually 360,000 seconds an hour, right?
Do you mean seconds?
Yeah, how many seconds are in an hour?
Yeah, 3,600.
600. So let's see. Oh no, we're close. Look at that.
Yeah.
Wait, let me go back. Not way off. The result thing came back weird. Okay, here.
So I think there's something wrong here. Oh, sorry for.
No, that's fine.
Let's see. Left is the expected, and right is not expected. Maybe. Maybe we should just add +1 to. I highly doubt that would handle all cases, but I'm not exactly sure why. Oh.
Oh, the this one's the this one, the left one's the actual. So we're going above one.
Right.
Dot test. I don't like dot test. This dot test library. Then we'll do the inverse. We'll just minus one. It turns out you need a minus one. I forgot to post a link to this. Why did it? Uh-oh, we timed out. How did we time out with the +1 or doing a -1? Oh, maybe. Let's see.
Oh, it's because of the nil option. We just need to put at the very top of our race condition. We need to say something like, if v1 is greater than v2, return. Or like if v1 is greater than v2, do nil.
Oh,
Comma. Yeah.
that's gonna get me for a long time. Oh, I need force a return.
Oh, that's. Guess there is no such thing as an early return in Elixir.
Maybe we can just define a race. with this being nil to nil.
Well, it's not if G is nil. It's
Oh, if yeah, that's right. If we want to do if one is greater than, it's v1 is greater than v2. I'll do oh. I think I need to, do I need to put a comma here?
yeah. I don't know though if this is gonna work because I think that if and do are actually like in the body of the function. And also it's matching on nil, which I don't think they ever pass in G as nil. Could we try doing can we do when v1 is greater than v2? I don't think you need a colon after when. Nice.
Nice. We got it. All right. Just like Dr. Argus said too, just need a -1.
Yeah.
All right. And ooh, we there are test conditions. We got something. We got a failure. Test failed. Where did we fail? Okay. Oh. Our -1.
Right. I feel like I wonder, there's gotta be like some, I feel like if we call floor somewhere else, there's some rounding error that I feel like ends up.
I wonder if we need for the elapsed for this. Well, elapsed time is always going to be a whole number.
Right.
Yeah. And then we're dividing. Yeah, it's weird that if there's like a rounding error in the remainder method.
But total let's see, total seconds is a whole number, so we're doing remainder. And so remainder should give us back a whole number.
Yeah, it's the same thing for the two test case failures. It's when it's -1. It's complaining that we're not using this in our linter. Let's just do this, seconds. Seconds -1. I was gonna be like, if it's a negative, we just make it 0.
What if we could define another increment time and we could say like when elapsed time equals 0, just return. No, that doesn't make any sense. Um, hmm. Oh, what if we do is there like a math absolute value? Oh no, that would turn it into 1 rather than 0.
Yeah, that would. But if it turned it to a 1 instead of a 0, it'd end up being 0 because of the -1.
Yeah, so we could do math absolute here and then.
Or, oh, no, it would turn it to a 1, and then we have to subtract it again against 1 again. And then it would, um, let's see, what do we have for math methods? Is there a math type, Anu? I don't see one.
Oh, I think it's either integer or float. Oh, there's also things on the kernel.
Kernel.
But I think using absolute is going to throw us off for
Yeah.
all the other examples. Oh yeah, what if we used max and we can say max 0 or whatever seconds are?
Yeah. That's exactly what I was thinking. That's why I looked it up.
Okay.
That's exactly what I was thinking too. Nice. Do we break the simple tests? No.
Moment of truth.
Oh,
Ugh.
there's still one that fails. And that's in this case we have to plus.
Why is that though? One.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't get why it's being like this. Like is it because when we're doing this initially that we need to our per seconds calculation is what's causing the rounding error?
Oh yeah, maybe.
Like, should we floor this? Yeah, this is the only other place I could think about that we have some sort of decimal issue. So our simple test cases,
I think it's going to time out.
why would it time out if we do a floor and it screws everything up?
What? Because there's 0, because 750 divided by 360. We need to round to a different decimal place instead of just flooring it.
Oh, that's right.
Okay, there's a floor 2 that takes, I think, oh, that's on the
kernel and
takes a precision place.
how much of a precision do we want to go with this?
Let's see, if we added 1, then it would be like dividing 7200 by 360. I think we want to do 2. I think, is floor 2 on the kernel, or is it on the floor 2 for floats? Yeah, I think this is on the float module rather than on.
Okay, yeah, that's right.
Whoa, that really threw. Maybe let's try 1, and if that doesn't work, try 3. Actually, I'm thinking this will probably be even more off.
Because we don't have as many values. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, it's
yeah.
there's no way to stop execution. There we go.
Cool, we're getting closer, so maybe one more. Ugh, same issue. What if we try, I think, let's go back to 4, but remove our -1.
And so we get rid of that.
Hmm.
So now we're a little bit too high. You're getting further away. So we were originally on 5. So yeah. Yeah, converting it, dang it, like this whole conversion to seconds is like is what's messing everything up. At least at higher, I guess when the numbers get too large, the precision is too far off, which explains the -1 issue. So there's floating point values. We add them together.
Oh, actually, I wonder if V1 position is greater than V2 position. Else,
Let's see. Oh, it's greater than or equal to.
oh,
Well, that's going to throw everything off also. Because it's not to beat it, it's to catch up to them. I wonder if that's what those other test case conditions were. No. Off by 1, just a little bit.
is 11, or I'm sorry, is left the expected, or is left the actual?
Left is our actual.
Okay.
Curious to see if we do that. And then, well, then standard test cases are fine. It's the advanced ones. Okay, we got 2 failures, and that's because of the -1. Yeah. So if we do
What if we reverse our logic inside of increment time? So instead of v1 position is greater to or equal, what if we want if v2 position is greater or equal than v1? Then we return elapsed time, otherwise we increment.
sure.
Is this gonna... And then I think we may not need the -1 or the -1.
All right. Oh, to the
Or maybe we still do need the -1.
hmm. So for the increment time, we pass in their starting position, their seconds, starting position 0, their seconds. And here, and then position and their speed. Yeah, I wonder if we're just falling into a precision error. We have to change the way we do our math. Do you still want to keep at it, or it's at the end of your day?
I'm okay if
Okay,
I
all
could
right.
call it. Yeah.
Yeah, let's just call it. We've been at it for an hour and a half. We gave it we almost got there. We just had to redo how we're doing the precision here.
Yeah.
But I mean, we blew through a bunch of them. I can't even remember how many we did. Like maybe like 5 of them.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, I don't know. I learned a couple new things, which is great. And if anyone finds a solution and wants to share it with us, feel free to. The link to it is on the screen. And yeah, thanks a lot, Zan.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I had fun.
Yeah, me too.
And yeah, so I'll catch you later. I'll catch you next week. Have a good weekend.
Yeah, you too. All right, later.
Later. All right, everyone. Thanks so much for hanging out. Greatly appreciate that. And yeah, we were at it for 2 hours and 30 minutes, it looks like. And sorry that you're having issues loading the stream, Juan. Hopefully next time it's a little bit better. And yeah, so everyone, let's go to the end screen. I need to add like I wonder if I can add a little video or a little animation. That would be cool. And we're going to go ahead and try rating someone in the science and tech channels. Go to Twitch and let's go to science and technology and see who Here, let's raid over to laboratory 242 and have a good time with that. So let's do it. And thanks everyone for lurking on the stream and all that type of good stuff. And I'll catch you next Friday, where tentatively we'll be doing a Dino stream. So I'll catch you then. Have a good rest of your day, everyone. Have a good weekend, and catch you next time. Bye.